In primetime news this evening, tension in Troy. Community flare-up following brutal rape and murder of 10-year-old girl.
Advocacy group calls for action after child's murder.
And peace and calm, the plea of the police in Trelawny. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. Special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Kalisha Williams.
And I'm Sandy Williams. We'll have the financial week later in this newscast, but right now we have Ricardo Chambers to give us a preview of what's to come in sports.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mixed results for Jamaica on day number 2 of the Commonwealth Games taking place in Glasgow, Scotland. There's also the Central American and Caribbean Games taking place in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and a couple of big wins in tennis for the country. The details coming up in Primetime Sports Friday.
Thanks, Ricardo. There's also sports commentary, E-Prime, and weather in this newscast. But before the break, the feedback question.
And this evening, we're asking what more can be done to fast-track the rebuilding in areas hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa.
And you can share comments online, facebook.com/Television Jamaica, and post on X at TVJ News Center.
Please stay with us. The Primetime News Package returns after this break.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome to viewers on onespotmedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands.
Up first this evening, ongoing tension in Troy, Trelawny is escalating rapidly after the brutal rape and murder of 10-year-old Shania Coke and the mob killing of the suspect.
After Thursday's protest, the police were again called to the community after arsonists set the suspect's house on fire.
TVJ News was informed that it followed the arrest of a resident in the community. This is the latest episode of Unrest in Trelawny. This house stands as a skeleton of its former self, a symbol of how the once peaceful community has erupted into chaos after 10-year-old Shania Coke was raped and killed, and her alleged killer, Delroy Coke, chopped to death by a mob. This is the house where the suspect lived with his father. After residents protested the arrest of a man who was nabbed by the police for allegedly participating in the mob killing, the house was set on fire hours later.
You couldn't have a man like that in the community and I want to get rid of him. Me never see him chop him up, you know, so me couldn't go see him. Because a crowd of people around there, you understand?
They're angry because they want the man in custody to be released. The residents say he's innocent of all wrongdoings, and they believe the authorities are the ones who failed the community, especially Shania.
When time him do these things and go to jail and come back, and him come back in the area, him come and him scrape down people's door, and you go up there and make complain about him, them say you have to have proof. How you have to have proof when the man been get locked up for these stuff and I come back in the same area?
Max is a peacemaker. Max is a person where doing farming. So you see, when Max leaves, sometimes 6 o'clock, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning, no come back sometimes until 6 or 7 o'clock in the night. Sometimes him not come in at all.
No matter when you go to station, the police them now come down here and them now say nothing. You understand me? But a long time you youth come out of the community, man. Because him father broke him bad. Now everything, you understand me? I want Max to come back, same way.
We were informed that even the suspect's dog was killed during last night's arson attack. A shop on the property was also looted. Delroy Coke's father, who was also injured during the mob attack, is still receiving treatment in hospital. Sources say his partner had to flee the community hours before the arson attack. It's not clear who is behind the incident. The Warsaw police declined to speak to our news team. However, what we can say is that normality may not be restored in the community anytime soon.
And this is so bad because the little girl don't deserve it. We cut up about it because young as we be here, we have kids, so we feel it. One mother cry, all mother cry.
And in a video statement released to the media, the Trelawny police are appealing for calm.
We understand that this is a very difficult time, not only for the family members and residents, but for the entire country. We are enlisting the support of residents for law and order to be maintained in the community. Yesterday, we had persons blocking the road and causing further instability. Please, I am imploring, desist from blocking the road and bringing further instability to your community.
A call for urgent national action is growing following the brutal killing of 10-year-old Shania Coke in Trelawny. Advocacy groups say her death highlights deep failures in Jamaica's systems meant to protect children. Grief and outrage continue to ripple across the country as Jamaicans grapple with the tragic loss of a child. The Office of the Children Advocate, OCA, in a statement noted that the tragedy is yet another painful reminder of the grave danger posed by sexual predators and of our collective responsibility to protect children from abuse, exploitation, and violence. At the same time, the OCA condemned the mob killing of the accused, explaining that those responsible for crimes against children must be brought to justice through investigation and the lawful processes of the courts. In the meantime, the Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, Jaseine, is calling for the immediate convening of a joint select committee of Parliament to review legislation, policies, and the performance of agencies responsible for protecting women and children. According to the group, existing legal frameworks are too fragmented with overlapping gaps that weaken enforcement and leave vulnerable groups exposed. The call comes amid ongoing national focus on crime, which has largely centered on gang-related violence, while family and gender-based violence often receive less targeted attention. In its 2025 Youth Against Violence campaign, Jaseine says young people identified family violence and abuse as critical issues that must be treated as a national priority. Recommendations include expanded public awareness campaigns, increased support services for survivors, and specialized training for teachers, healthcare workers, and social service providers to identify and respond to abuse. The group is also urging greater investment in programs targeting boys and young men aimed at preventing harmful behaviors and promoting positive role models. Jaseine maintains that the national response must shift from reacting after tragedies to preventing them before they occur. Still to come this evening, lettuce under lens. Jamaican government heightens inspections of vegetable from America. And in the financial week, Jamaican small and medium-sized businesses being encouraged to embrace technology and artificial intelligence. We'll be right back.
Turn up to 25, turn up to 25. Could I drive?
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Continuing the news now, cyclospora linked to iceberg lettuce has now spread to 9 states in the United States, part of the largest reported outbreak in U.S. history. And Jamaica's Ministry of Agriculture says the country continues to monitor all imported lettuce, leafy vegetables, and fruits from the U.S. The minister says imports were on the table following the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa and other issues in its wake. Romardo Lyons reports.
Red light on green vegetables. Well, those being imported. The government has heightened its surveillance of all imported iceberg lettuce, other leafy vegetables, and fruits from the United States amid the outbreak of the diarrhea-causing parasite Cyclospora. Now, with thousands of farmers across the island and a well-accepted Grow What You Eat campaign, why is Jamaica importing food in the first place? Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says it's neither large-scale nor a first option.
In general, when we are in good supply times, we don't have to import vegetables. we can sustain ourselves. We only look to vegetable importation when there is a downturn in supply after a weather-related event or in our drier months.
The weather-related event in question, Hurricane Melissa, greenhouse farmers to be exact, who focus on green leafy vegetables, suffered tremendous losses. Data from the ministry says over 300 greenhouses were lost.
Our vegetable farmers suffered tremendous impact during Hurricane Melissa, and a number of them are still recovering from Hurricane Beryl. Normally with these weather-related events, vegetable farmers are the most susceptible. However, after Hurricane Melissa, we did see very positive rebound. In fact, a number of our vegetables went into oversupply, largely because of the interventions from RADA, right, and our partners to get the vegetable farmers back up and running.
But is the rebound temporary? As the island embarks on drier months with scheduled water lockoffs, farmers are being put to the test.
Now we're in the drier months, and when you go into drier periods, it is more difficult for our vegetable farmers because of the amount of water that they need to bring the crop to fruition. So we continue to work with our vegetable farmers to provide them with some direct support in relation to water.
In the interim, the minister said the island has had to tap into external supply. However, the imports have not been extensive.
We haven't had any significant importation of lettuce, and clearly we continue to monitor the situation in the United States, and once the risk outweighs the need, then we won't allow it.
As for other vegetables coming in being monitored,
green cabbage, jumbo, carrots, right? There are other things that may come in small quantities. But one of the things that the phytosanitary team has already done is to ensure that we are upping our surveillance around all products that are coming in from the United States that are food-related products to ensure that we don't have any challenges.
Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
A major security operation in St. Anne early this morning has resulted in 18 people being taken into police custody as law enforcers intensified their crackdown on criminal activity in the parish. Yannick Williams tells us more.
18 men and women are now in police custody following a series of coordinated police raids carried out across sections of Ocho Rios with a major focus on the Parrytown community. The early morning operation was led by SSP Carlos Russell and the St. Anne Police Division, supported by the Special Operations Unit, the K-9 Division, the Area Fugitive Apprehension Team, and detectives.
A total of 18 persons were picked up on this operation. 3 will be charged for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act, while the others are being questioned in relation to other serious crimes that have been committed in the St. Anne Police District.
Police say the targeted raids were intelligence-driven and focused on persons of interest and locations linked to ongoing criminal investigations. Authorities say the operation forms part of a wider strategy to disrupt criminal networks, remove illegal weapons, and improve public safety in the parish.
We believe that the operational activities that we are conducting in the parish is bearing fruit. One of the things we have seen is that there is a significant reduction in gang-related violence. The incident of crimes that we are having are more domestic related, are a result of conflicts. And this is something that myself and team are doing a lot of work in the communities to see how best we can address these domestic issues, and also to encourage persons to talk about their problems instead of fighting it out. And we believe that in the future we'll see a reduction in these matters as we continue to impact these communities.
Investigators are continuing to process the individuals taken into custody to determine whether charges will be laid. In the meantime, police say similar intelligence-led operations will continue across St. Anne as they maintain pressure on criminal elements and pursue wanted persons.
St. Anne is no safe haven, and my team is out there every day. And if they are here to commit crimes, we will find them. So we're just saying to them, stay out of St. Anne. If you come to St. Anne, you will be caught.
Yannick Williams, TVJ News. In the meantime, a man was fatally shot during a police operation in Partown, Ocheria, St. Anne early Friday morning. The deceased is Jaseine Allen, OC Coco. Police say members of the Area 2 Fugitive Apprehension Team were acting on intelligence and went to a premises in search of the man. According to the police officers encountered the suspect in the yard and ordered him to stop. They allege he pointed a handgun at the team, prompting two officers to open fire. Allen was taken to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A firearm and ammunition were recovered at the scene. Indicom is investigating.
The Kingston West Police have listed a 21-year-old man from Trenchtown as a person of interest in the fatal shooting of a woman Thursday night. As Jamaica Maitland tells us, the police say the shooting stems from a domestic dispute between two families.
There's a tense calm in Wilton Gardens, a section of Trenchtown, following the shooting death of a woman Thursday night. The deceased have been identified as 27-year-old Tatiana Watkins. When TVJ News visited the community Friday afternoon, residents pointed us to where the incident took place. Now, according to the police, Miss Watkins was sitting outside along the sidewalk on a chair when she was pounced upon by two armed men. They opened fire on her. She was shot in the head and in the upper body. She died at the hospital. Residents who didn't want to speak on camera say the shooting has shattered what they thought would have been a peaceful summer. The police have listed 21-year-old Everald Hall, otherwise called Papito, as a person of interest. He's being urged to report to the Denham Town Police Station by 6 p.m. Saturday, July 25. According to the police, the shooting stems from a series of disputes between the Watkins family and another family on Sunday, July 19. The police were called, but residents told us that the matter was not resolved. Watkins was shot and killed less than a week later. Residents admit that there have been more police patrols since the incident, and while there we observed 3 police cars in the vicinity of where the incident took place. However, with the Trenchtown police station just a stone's throw away from where the crime took place, residents argue that an improved community police relationship would allow them to feel more comfortable informing officers of potential threats. Jamaica Maitland, TVJ News.
To other news now, some cybersecurity experts are this evening alarmed by the revelation that the government of Jamaica does not own the Support Jamaica website used to collect donations for victims of Hurricane Melissa. This follows the stunning revelation by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, and questions about confidentiality and access to the data. Details from Andrea Chisholm.
As at February 2026, about $1.4 billion was collected through the Support Jamaica website to help hurricane victims. When persons make donations, they have to give their names, email addresses, contact numbers, and card information. The website clearly states that it was developed and donated by the Amber Group.
Can you tell me who currently owns that website? The Support Jamaica website. I know it would have been created by a private developer on behalf of the government, but what's the current status of it?
So the private developer still owns the website. The agreement is an SAS, and forgive me if I forgot the meaning of it, but primarily it is they develop the website and then offer us the service. So we have 1 year's free service to the portal.
Do we have a formal agreement with that?
We do have a formal agreement in place. In the initial phases of it, for the rapid development and deployment of the website, yes, there wasn't the necessary agreement in place, but we had subsequently regained on that and caused for an agreement to be signed governing that website and its mechanisms.
When one cybersecurity expert was asked their opinion on the matter, they said, quote, "This is a clear breach of best practice. The website should have been handed over to the government. It is a part of the national infrastructure, collecting money on behalf of the government. From a security perspective, it makes logical sense." End quote. Another cybersecurity expert says they are not aware of the contractual arrangements with the Amber Group and the government, but ideally, government's internal developers could build the application, conduct security testing to ensure privacy and protection of the data, deploy the application to government's private cloud or internal infrastructure, then push to the public space. That way, quote, all security, all data, all hosting arrangements would be owned and managed by government, end quote. Back at Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, ODPEM's Director General, Commander Alvin Gale, said both the developer and ODPEM would have access to the data as per the privacy statement.
There's a requirement in the data protection agreement concerning once we are concluded using the platform, the modalities around how the information should be scrubbed and the assurance is given to us that the matters are indeed removed from their access.
Does ODPEM have a process where you would know whether the developer accesses that data at a particular point? Is there a requirement to provide that information to you? How would you enforce that?
In terms of an automatic signal to us that the developer has accessed the information that isn't built into the system.
Commander Gale went on to explain, though, that an authorized officer at ODPEM should be able to audit the website to see who accessed particular information. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
Still to come this evening, Spain declares national emergency as wildfires rage. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. A comeback from a setback is the strategy 30-year-old Jaseine Greenfield is now contemplating, even as she tries to come to terms with the suspicious death of her only cow. Krista Campbell has this primetime news update on the 30-year-old Hanover woman living with no hands.
It literally let me feel the same way I'd feel 5 years back when I lost my mom. Breaking down, feel like giving up.
Enough to make a trying livestock farmer cry. And Jaseine Greenfield says it's been hard to stop the tears since she found her first and only cow like this on Sunday, July 19. 1 day shy of a month since buying the animal and a month before it turned a year old.
About a year and a half from now, my son will be doing CXC, and I'm just trying to do stuff where later on when I'm supposed to pay for his CXC subjects, I don't have to turn to the public or turn to anyone to seek any help. I can literally help myself.
She says her grandmother checked on the animal sometime after 6 o'clock